So my next area I'm going to talk about is the strengths of my participants. This was quite a big one for us because the majority of them did help us sort of through quite a difficult session, having to make up what we were doing on the spot without originally planning for the rainy sort of conditions to impact us like it did. So the first positive about them, which was really good, was, you know, they were good at listening. They sat there and they listened while we spoke to them. They listened to the facts that there wasn't much room, so they did need to be careful. They needed to look out for other people, other objects which were scattered around the room. They had to stay inside the cottage, and they did all of these, to be fair to them. They did all of these brilliant well, and yeah, that was really good to see. But more importantly, when it came to actually delivering our activity, they listened to what we had to say and if someone was throwing and they was maybe doing an underarm beanbag throw on the target, for example, and they were releasing it too late, so it was going quite high and it was either going over the top or it was dropping too short because it was going too high. So we'd say, oh, you know what, why don't you try releasing it a little bit earlier? And they were like, okay. And, you know, they didn't have to listen to that. They could have just carried on doing it their own way, but they did. They took what we were saying into account. They released the beanbag earlier and it started dropping on the target for them. So they did, to their credit, they did listen to what we had to say to them. So secondly, the majority of them were really enthusiastic, you know. They obviously were disappointed at not being able to go outside because, as mentioned before, as children, that's what you want to do. You want to go outside, you want to run around, you want to do a proper sort of physical activity session for your PE lesson. So I could sense their disappointment, obviously, as could the rest of us, and we were trying our best to get them to feel enthusiastic about being inside, and they did. They started thinking, you know what, it's not being outside, but it's the best we've got, so let's go and have some fun doing it. So the majority of them were really enthusiastic about the PE and the activities that we'd set up for them inside, and that's all down to them, you know, and we should really thank them for that, because they could have been really difficult for us and made it difficult. So another positive for our participants was they had really good hand-eye coordination, you know, even the ones which didn't want to be there, which weren't properly listening to us, you know, so the majority of them were, but even the ones that weren't, they still had really good hand-eye coordination. They could still throw, they could still catch, and there wasn't many drop beanbags at all, you know. There was a couple of children, one or two maybe, which were throwing the beanbags around too far, too hard, being silly with them, but as soon as one of us went and spoken to them and just said, it's not really acceptable, you know, at the end of the day, we're coming here to help give you a hand and help see you improve, then they were back online again. And yeah, I think we definitely achieved what we set out to with helping them improve their throwing and catching, because by the end of the session, they were all able to do an underarm throw straight to their partner's chest, and their partner was able to catch it with two hands. And I don't think, you know, you can ask for any more than that. If with that room, if you're starting off with children that maybe aren't as confident with catching, aren't as confident with throwing, and they end up in the session being able to catch with the beanbag with two hands, being able to throw it to their partner, then to me that's a strength for them, and that's a real positive for them. You know, their hand-eye coordination has improved, and credit to them for that.